Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Get in Tune. I'm Michael Gracia, and I got a really great show tonight. I got repeat guests. I've had that in the past, but not with these guys, and I'm excited to talk about it because the last time they were on, I had so much fun with them. I'm just going to bring them on. They're the guys of Fugitive Poems. We got Christian Matteo, who's the writer, and James Lines, the artist. So let's bring them on. And we got Christian and James. Hey guys. How
How's
you
it going?
doing? Doing
All
good.
right.
How about you guys? I'm excited. I got to tell you, when Christian texted me to ask me if you guys can come back on to talk about some stuff, I was super excited because I had so much fun with you guys last time. And
us too. I couldn't wait. We were waiting to put something back out. I'm like, we need to put something back out so we can go back and have more fun talking. Thank you. I'm so glad to be back. This is awesome.
Yeah. Great. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having us back.
Oh, anytime. And we got one already comment. Omar is that Bonet? Sorry. Says, "What's up, Michael?" So I don't know if it's you or me. I'm assuming you. Do you know him?
Well, I'm not Michael.
Oh, sorry. No. Oh, you know what, dude? I'm sorry.
You're still confusing me with Flanagan. It's only been a decade.
You two are so, I always connect you two together. I haven't even talked to him in so long. Wow.
He's in Texas and somehow still alive. So hello.
Yeah,
Mike.
I saw.
Somehow survived the Texas atrocity.
I'm happy to hear that. We're connected on Facebook, and I just haven't talked to him or anything. Yeah. Oh, it's Sebastian. I'm sorry. I should have figured by the Sebastian. Let me tell you guys something. I know you guys go live at 9:00 tonight. He's Nerds of the Round. Get these two guys on your show. All right. They are amazing artists. Well, James the artist, Christian the writer. But let's get these two guys on your show because you're going to love their products, love what they do. The last time they were here, they were talking about an anthology they put together with a group of talented and amazing artists and writers. And I loved looking at the stuff you had up online, which, by the way, your website is fugitivepoems.com, correct?
FugitivePoems.com.
But I forgot to make the banner before. So let me do that while you guys... either whoever wants to go first, tell us a little bit about Fugitive Poems. Tell us who you guys are. All right.
James and I got together a couple of years ago and started making comics. So we are Fugitive Poems, and we make comics. This is an absolute passion for us. It's something we've been working on and learning and building and having a ton of fun with. And things are taking off. And we're putting out stuff we're really proud of and just excited to share with the world and to share with people like you who appreciate it. I mean, more than anything, this is just a ton of fun.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, so I'm the artistic. Christian is the artist as well, but with words, I'm the visual artist. So, I'm kind of late to the game, but I guess I don't have that excuse anymore now that I've been working so long. That I didn't grow up loving comics, but he's really learned me up quite a bit, sending me a lot of print work and talking me up and on his history with comics. And I have to admit that I really think that this is my proper medium that I should have been in for much longer. And my only wish is that I had gotten into this 20 years ago instead of the 5 or 6 years ago that we have. But yeah, I guess I can't say anymore that I'm new to comics because we put out our second title and we're working on a third, and it's been going really well. It's a real high to work with Christian, and we really sync up creatively. It's like every time we get together, it's like barnstorming. It's crazy, the sparks that fly.
Yeah, it's great because I said this the last time when I heard you guys were getting kind of into business together. I was like, that is the perfect team. I was so happy and thrilled to hear that. We got a couple of comments I just want to show. Hey, Christian, get off my TV. Thank you for watching on TV. I didn't know I was on regular TV, but thank you.
See, annoying sister comments.
Yeah. And
Oh, there's our boy Elliot.
Elliot just did an awesome cover and variant cover for our second for part 2 of our River series. It's up on Fugitive Poems, and actually maybe later on I'd like to show you what he did. We asked Elliot if he'd be interested in doing a variant cover, and he put together this really cool piece, and we're so excited about it. Elliot is an amazing artist.
Yeah, I believe we still have that front and center on the webpage.
It is the very first thing in line on the homepage.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta tell you, it was a real thrill to see another like really cool artist drawing my characters. It was great, very cool and inspiring to see it from that other angle.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I feel the same way about my characters. When somebody draws me a picture of my stuff, I love seeing other people's interpretations. I think that's awesome.
It's surreal. I mean, James and I have been so tight knit, especially with the series River, which was our first comic we ever released. It was supposed to be a one-off little Twilight Zone twist at the end. And it is, and we got all these responses from people going, well, what happens next? And I'm like, dude, he found his own head. That's what happens. And they're like, yeah, what happens next? And I'm like, crap, I don't know. So I was in like a death spiral about this. One night I'm watching TV and I'm sitting there and I'm like, people want more. We were going to move on to a new story. I don't know. 1 a.m, I got something on, and it's my brain's not on it at all. 1 a.m, I got an idea, and I hadn't even finished this office out yet. So I stumbled out into the dining room and I wrote from 1 to 3, and I emailed James scripts 2 and 3 for the River series.
Wow.
I just in one shot, I said, James, if these are bad, don't even respond to this email. We'll pretend this never happened. Because I don't know. This is what popped into my head. Maybe we can go here with it. And James, the next day I wake up and there's no response. And I'm like, well, I guess that's that. I'm going about my day, and like halfway through, I get an email. Dude, I didn't see these come in. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. I've just been heartbroken all day. They are in right now, Jerry. I am the tastemaker. Remember that. It's a samurai top knot. But he said this is crazy. I love it, and that became Distributary, part 2 of River that we just released. I am, and actually, how about an exclusive for your show? I'm not going to give anything away because no one but me can read my handwriting. I am going to show you the entire arc of the River story.
Okay, I'm going to give you the whole screen so we can see it better.
All right.
Okay. Oh, God, he's going to whip this out.
Yep. Oh, my God.
Prepare yourselves.
That is the messiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
We're up to here. That's what we've
been. Are you able to? You're the only one able to understand that.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
That's the hero's journey arc turned into a pyramid scheme.
I drove the kids to my mom. She was going to watch them one day. I swear, I was in the car by myself for about 30 seconds, and the entire storyline came into my head. Being away from the noise of the house, I the whole story in like 30 seconds. But awesome. Then they came in and they saw this, and they were desperately trying to figure it out. I'm like, no one's going to figure it out. But that's it. I'm working on a redo of script 3 now. And what we're going to do is we just released part 2 for free. So River was free, Distributary free. And we're going to release the entire thing as our first graphic novel.
That's awesome. Now, with the graphic novel, you're going to still stay digital? You're going to get printed books for this?
I believe we're feeling out options. I believe we're going to kickstart it.
Okay.
And because we want to do print copies.
Okay.
And that's where we're headed, and color and the whole 9 yards. And if you've seen Distributary, you know that we introduced some color. James snuck some color in there. Actually, my son was very upset that he does not like the shirt. I love it. I can only wear it. This is James's rough. This is a one of a kind. We have product up now.
That's awesome.
at Fugitive Poems. You can buy. I mean, James's stuff is so incredible. I'm like, I want this stuff on T-shirts, and he found Redbubble. But no one else can get this one because this is the rough, and the rough is for sale. But the red is the color we snuck in our uber violent epic.
That's great. Sorry, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, we got a link for that. I don't know if you could update that scroller at the bottom there.
Okay, what's the link for?
So it's still under Jamlines, which is my other company. So JAMLINES.redbubble.com. But we do have a Fugitive Poems collection up there where you can see the specific stuff.
So give me 1 second. Jamlines.com.
Redbubble.com.
Okay, redbubble.com. Okay, let's save that. I'm just going to keep both up so they can go to both places.
Great. Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you.
He's done some really cool stuff. I am like saving up to get posters and T-shirts up there. Seeing our stuff up there is insane. It's awesome.
I look forward to checking this stuff out. I've always been a fan of James's artwork, so yeah.
We also, of course, we have links to that on Fugitive Poems. So.
Awesome. Let me just go back to the comments here so I can see. Okay, no new comments. Oh, Sebastian had to go. His show starts at 9, so we'll hopefully he comes back or watches this again later.
Sebastian.
I don't know if you saw in the comments he left his email for you guys to contact him. So you can set
I
it
don't
up.
see comments. Maybe I'm not looking
check on your. I think it's on your right side. It should say private.
Where it says comments?
Yeah, where it says comments. It's private chat and comments. So you guys can take it down.
Got it. Yeah, I got
it. His name's Sebastian. Awesome guy. Nerds of the Round is a fun show. After this ends tonight, I recommend checking out his YouTube show.
No doubt.
He's on Tuesday nights they review like TV shows and stuff. So they're doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier tonight.
I didn't get to see last week.
It's a good one. James is amazing. Big fan. Yes. That's from David.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's going back now. That's my from Institute in the olden days, in the late 1900s. Good friend of mine.
That's
turn of the century friend.
That dude right there knocked his tooth out of my mouth. in a drunken yet fun street fight.
Well, David, thank you for joining us, and I'm glad you're a fan of James. And
thank you for cracking my tooth all those years ago.
So,
hey, Michael, I don't remember. We talked last time. Just in case you needed a reminder, that James is much cooler than I am. He's a much history.
We've totally known that. Always known that. What's he got going on, Evan?
Evan, hello, Evan.
Best duo.
Happy. What's up, Evan?
So,
thanks for joining us.
Love Evan.
Before we get started, I'm talking about your products and getting to the surprise announcement you guys got coming up. Christian, when we were in backstage, showed me some old videotapes that he had. And I need to share this because if you guys don't know about this, these are so cool. I've watched them all back in the 90s, and I own a different one than he has, but I can't show mine. I can't get to it right now.
Right, so I don't want to destroy the mystique that we're young and hip, but I am going to be showing a VHS tape. So children, before DVDs. Oh wait, sorry, before Blu-rays. All right, back when things were physical, this is how we watched movies. The actual film in there, right?
I actually had to rewind that thing.
I'd be afraid to put it in anything now. My hero when I was young. My comic book hero was Todd McFarlane, and that obviously doesn't count Stan Lee, who was above hero for comic books, right? Stan Lee did a series called The Comic Book Greats, and probably when he was trying to recover some money after everything that happened to him that I wasn't aware of back then. But I could not wait for this to come out, and I went to the Dragon's Den in Yonkers, which is
Wow.
where I got almost all of my money through a large portion of my young life. Later into my life than I'd care to admit. And we went and we bought this, and I couldn't wait to watch it. Stan Lee is interviewing Todd McFarlane while he draws Spawn. And that was a big deal because Todd had left Marvel, right? It's a great image. And then, oh, wait, no, that's the big one. Then he did one with Rob Liefeld. All right. And the big deal here is that Rob Liefeld is the first comic book artist, maybe, and I'm not a historian here, but to my knowledge, to ever be used to advertise anything else. Do you guys remember Rob Liefeld advertised on TV?
Yep.
What were they?
They were jeans. I don't remember the company, but they were jeans. Was
Levi's
jeans?
Fly.
Buttonfly, that's right.
He made being able to open your fly slower cool. And it was a big deal that anybody gave a crap who a comic book artist was at that point. Yeah. And he creates a character live on this one. And then Stan got the two of them together to create this character, who, to my knowledge, went nowhere.
Actually, Overkill, I think, appeared in a Liefeld comic. I believe it was Liefeld. But they had others on there. Jim Lee's on that one. And I'm blanking on the name. One of the other guys from Image was on it as well.
I know who you're talking about.
And I will say this. I own the Serge Aragonés because Serge Aragonés is probably my all-time favorite cartoonist. But speaking of Todd McFarlane, I'm going to share this, even though, I have no affiliation with this YouTube channel, but I watch a lot of YouTube. Like I listen to podcasts and whatever. And one of my favorite channels is Cartoonist K-Fab. It's two guys who are, well-known comic artists who talk about comics. They actually have this great one I was watching earlier. I haven't finished breaking down Will Eisner's Comics in Sequential Art, I believe it was. Oh. But they did an interview with Todd McFarlane, which is about an hour and a half. And this guy may have been the hardest working. Like, I didn't know how hard of a worker this guy was. I always respected him for his business, for how he produced work and how he took this one character Spawn and built it a giant brand and a giant business over it. I'm not the biggest Spawn fan, but I totally respect what he did with this. And he said some great things in that interview. If you really want to learn about how Todd built himself, watch this Cartoonist K-Fab interview with Todd McFarlane. It's fantastic.
I'll definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah. What's he say? Sorry, I have an action figure blocking one of the comments. I like the guy with all the books behind. so
I rented those so I would look smart. There's a bunch of guys who are going to push him out as soon as the interview is over.
So let's get into Fugitive Poems now. Let's really talk about Fugitive Poems. For those who weren't here the last show, explain what the first anthology was and how they can get a copy of it now.
Sure. James, you want to crack that?
Yeah, sure. So the first anthology came about sort of organically through Twitter. Christian was messing around with this artist called Matt. I want to say Matt Stone, but that's not right.
Don't phrase it that way. I'm married. I wasn't messing around with anyone.
What's Matt's last name?
Matt Queen.
Matt Queen. I almost said Stone, but Queen. And then, they went back and forth and were drawing some stuff based on one of Christian's little mini story ideas. And like I said, it just kind of came about organically. Christian just sort of put it together with a couple of artists and said, "Hey, let's all get together and do something creative." It was early on in the whole sequestering of sitting in your house because of COVID, and so we decided to theme it based on being locked in the house. That's where we got. I believe that's how we came up with the name Containment Breach. Using our creativity to break out of sitting in our house and spending too much time on Zoom classes and stuff like that. So we put that together. Who do we have on there? Matt Queen, this guy, Purple Smurf. What's his name? John Paul Smith.
Yep.
John Paul Smith, Purple Smurf.
Peter Paul Smith.
John Jack Comics. John Jack Makes Comics. Is that what that is?
John Batusi Jack, at John Batusi Jack on Twitter. Peter is at Purple Smurf 13, I believe. Matt is at Matt J Queen on Twitter.
We have the other Mike Flanagan.
Yes.
Who am I missing?
That's it. That's us.
Yeah, that's us.
Matt
so that was
Mike,
that was the original group, and we got each of those that they were actually we teamed them up, or they already came as a team, and we each did our own short comic based off prompts from each other, and then we fleshed it out with some essays from Christian and some of my illustrations and so forth, and stuck it together, and boom, we got it on Comixology. So we were really excited about that.
That's awesome. Congrats on that again.
Yeah, thank you.
That the big goal here was to have it be sort of have a zine feel to it. That classic zine feel where it wasn't just one thing. That it had other stuff going on, and I had written out of nowhere, drinking some Dickel Rye one night and reading. Who was I reading? I was reading David Goodis, The Blonde on the Street Corner, and Bukowski. That was the other thing I was reading. And I had this suddenly all the feelings about being in quarantine came out of me, and I wrote an essay. I never write nonfiction. I wrote this essay and I published it on tellworthy.com, which is my creative writing services company. And that felt like a natural piece of this. So I put that essay in there. James had done this really creepy clown Captain COVID, and we put it in there as a pinup. But we wanted it to be sort of an experience, a zine experience. And we wanted to play with our friends. What James has coined, and I love this, our fellow fugitives. That's why we came up with this idea of giving each other prompts. Like, instead of just saying, hey, write a comic about, with a quarantine theme. Yeah, that's the theme of the anthology. But each group, so John, what's his name? Matt and Purple, theirs is called Better to Sleep Alone. And that title was actually the prompt that Mike Flanagan and John gave to their team. And so each of us, our comics came out of a theme, a prompt that the other one gave that was quarantine adjacent. And we just thought it was a fun way to do something, to have an artistic experience with others and create and produce something. And it felt so freaking important to produce something, March of last year, when everything seemed to be dying and death. Let's make something. Let's create. And it was huge for me to be a part of that, and then to see how it came out and the response we got to it. All these people wanting to be a part of things. It was really cool. It was a great experience.
That's great. That's great. So the first one you did, that was Containment Breach. I'm actually on your website. I'm looking down just because of the way my Cintiq is as my monitor right now. I see you got. You said one of these are the variant. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's a nice cover.
Isn't that, that's Elliot.
Do you mind if I share the screen and show this off?
Please do.
Okay, so let's share.
Another great friend that we made on Twitter.
Application. Share. Okay, so this is the cover you're talking about, and let me get over actually on the right monitor so you can see my mouse over it. And it's not going back over. Oh, there it goes. So this one right here, you can see my mouse. Can I click on it and
you can do anything you like?
Awesome.
I moved the inappropriate material off for this meeting. For this, I'm kidding. All of our stuff is inappropriate.
Yes, so, you guys watching, this is not kid-friendly material, but it's beautiful art.
So that's Elliot Rodriguez, who's a friend that we made. We just found each other on Twitter, and his art is unbelievable. He's there in the chat, Elliot Rodriguez Art. He is at NYGMA, I believe, Nigma, because it's Elliot Nigma, Enigma. Let's see if I can give you his at NYGMA85. At NYGMA85. And he's just incredibly talented. And for James and I to see him draw these characters who we're so connected to, what an experience it was.
That's fantastic. So I got a comment here. This might be for James because it's from his friend David. But any books in the works, like what's that? Is that CC Iki? And I'm sorry, my Pantheon Saga.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. I don't know if that's an inside joke or what.
No,
Yeah,
it's the Age of Heroes series.
Oh, no, I don't know that one.
Yeah, and I know of it, but I haven't read it. But that just moved it up on my list.
Age of Heroes, is that what company is that with there?
It's I don't know. When the world's greatest superheroes found murdered, new threats emerge, and 3 lives are forever changed. This actually sounds really cool. Thank you. Thank you.
And we got Alfred Reed saying hi. How are you? Hi, Alfred. Alfred's watching over Ireland, I believe. Correct?
Oh, nice.
Yes. He's a regular. He's a regular viewer. Awesome, nice guy. So let's get back onto the right monitor here. So your new comic.
So we have the Containment Breach cover up there too. If you want to take a look at that.
Yeah,
that one's over on the right.
This one's your work. I can see that easily.
Yeah, I don't know if we showed this on the last show.
Yeah, I think we did. This is. I don't know if it had the front and back cover, but I remember that. I just remember this image.
We were so lucky. A couple of great indie comic artists, Jay Sheik and Frankie White, a couple other people were they checked out Containment Breach and they really gave us their thoughts on it. It was so cool that they did that. We had the directors Dave Bellantoni and Rob Riley and a bunch of great people comment on the piece, and it was so cool to get George Solis, the journalist, that really liked it and connected with it, and that meant the world. So we were really glad to have all those comments there.
That's fantastic.
So we said, this is up for sale on Comixology, and you can search for Christian or I or Fugitive Poems, or of course the title. Still for sale.
Yeah, and guys,
still plenty of virtual copies out there. Get them while you can. They're a limited edition of however many we can send out into the world. I think we're on 17.
It's $2.99 for 50 pages of badassery. I don't know if you can say that.
No, you just did.
That's
so
less than a Starbucks coffee.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted it to, especially during the pandemic, we wanted it to be something that people could grab and get lost in and have fun.
And I'll say this: I want comics over Starbucks, so that's a. Do you still have the sample of the comic up?
On Containment on Comixology, you can get the first couple of pages.
Okay.
Though actually, I thought we put up different stuff. We might have to update what Comixology has here.
Okay. No, that's okay. Because I remember showing your like you had a sample 5-8 pages or something, and just that gorgeous artwork of watching that guy get sliced and
that's River, and that's free on this website.
Oh, that is free. Okay. Sorry, I got your books confused.
No worries.
Okay.
And that's exciting to have happen. There's more than one.
Yeah.
So let's
we've been working on that number. That's
you know, you guys, and I said this last time, it's very inspiring to chat with you guys. Not only are you guys a great team, and I see the quality of work you put out together, but you know, you make me want to create. And I have a project I've been trying to just get started, and I feel like this weekend, you know, after seeing what you're doing, this weekend I'm finally going to sit down at the drawing board and get
Awesome.
the comic done. So thank you for this. Seeing it's gorgeous. You know, you want to, and is Containment Breach is your next book, right? Or is that?
So
I'm sorry. I got a little confused based on our conversation over text. What you were talking about on things. So
no, but you're right. You're right. But do we want to do the big announcement?
if you guys are ready,
Well, let's. I think we should explain what Containment Breach is, and then let's take a look at Distributor before we jump.
That's great. Absolutely.
Okay.
We haven't really even looked at Distributor yet.
All right, go for it.
If you wouldn't mind clicking, if you want to click on River, this is when we first met with you. This is what we had put out.
Yes.
Was our first comic, and this is the one that was supposed to be the one-off.
Yes.
Joe, that's awesome. I love it. There's something about listening to people talk about creating that is the ultimate fuel for doing it. Joe, thank you for joining us.
Let me just say, Joe's a regular viewer himself, and he's working on a comic called My Life with an 80s Girl, I believe it, or an 80s chick. I don't remember exactly the title, but it's like a Back to the Future type of story.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's very cool. Is there anywhere we can see any of it?
I'm sure he could. I don't know if he could share in the comments, but
Yeah,
I could. Yeah, if you have a link, put it in there, and they'll take a look. So, hold on. I don't see any link for the comics. Am I just missing it?
Charlie, go to fugitivepoems.com.
Yes.
That's what Michael's looking at.
Yeah, I'll put it in the comments. My Life with an 80s Girl, he says so.
So David just asked if we can share a little bit about our work process. And I actually think that River is a perfect way to get into that.
Yes.
The Toon Maker, thank you. Oh, you are Toon Maker.
I'm Toon. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm Toon Maker 76. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm just Michael Grassi, and if you're on Facebook, I'm Get in Toon. So I'm all over the place.
Just Michael Grassi. You are Michael Grassi. So River was I'm a college professor, and we were doing one-sentence stories in my writing class. And I had given them 5 words and told them to write a one-sentence story, beginning, middle, and end, with these 5 words. And I did it myself. I came back to the office and told James what I'd come up with. And like in the next 10 minutes, we brainstormed out what turned into River, just riffing like demented jazz musicians. I went home and wrote the script. And then James drew it, and all of that happened within 7 hours. I'm totally kidding. That's not true at all. I wish we had that kind of time, because this is what we love doing. I went home and wrote the script. I would say I usually do the first draft of the script in a sitting, usually an hour or 2. But that doesn't mean it's good. But I just drop chaos on the page. And then I go back and I rework and I rework and I rework. They say there are plotters and there are pantsers. Plotters do this. This is odd for me. I don't normally do this. Pantsers fly by the seat of their pants, and that's generally what I am. It was amazing that came to me, that whiteboard, the way it did, because that's not normal. So after I'd done a couple of drafts of it, what James and I, and we've kind of gotten into a groove since then too, what we do is we'll have a meeting and we'll actually do a table read of the script. And it's just the 2 of us playing multiple parts and doing silly voices. But that helps me hear it, and it helps James see it. And we're both taking notes as we're doing the table read. And then he asks me questions. What were you thinking? What's wrong with you? That kind of thing. No, but we're working on one right now. Another little sneak on this. We're working. Our next one's called Delphine, and we did the table read recently. And James, one of the things that's awesome is James draws while something's being read. So by the time you're done reading something, James already has sketches galore. They're all inappropriate and have nothing to do with the comic. No. He's already. You can see he's already crafting and creating. And then we'll talk about the character. What's the apartment like? For the one we're working on, he actually did a blueprint of the apartment so we could figure out how the movement was going to go through it. Because when we did River, we didn't do that. and I ended up having action happen just on top of itself because I wasn't thinking of it that way. And James was like, dude, I got to draw this. You can't have it take place there.
Yeah, he would have stuff like happening like 15 feet from other stuff happening. And so he when he lacks in spatial abilities, he makes up for it with narrative storytelling. So my process, I mean, so this one that we're looking at here, this is River. This is old news here. This was sort of trial by fire for me to really see, can I do it? Can I do sequential storytelling and switch gears from more traditional illustration where everything was, a single image on a paper. I had never done any of that before, and we messed around with an original idea that will eventually come to life. It's called Finis, and we kind of screwed that up pretty good. And then we went on to another title called Ife. You can see some of the titles for those. But then we decided that we wanted to try to take smaller bites. So we started, writing and coming up with shorts, and that way we could kind of complete something and have it ready to go without having to do, the full 32-page thing, which is, kind of difficult with, the full-time job and everything.
Yeah.
I do have some stuff for, I'm sure we should probably take a look at Distributary. I actually have some stuff that could answer David's question about process with one of my favorite characters who has arrived in Distributary.
I will open that up in 1 second. I just stopped on this hand because I just love the look of it. It's one of my favorite. The first time I went through it, I don't think I noticed just how nice this hand is. And I just want to say I love the positioning of everything. It's obviously stylized, but just the way you got little muscles and the curvatures of lines and stuff, I think it's just gorgeous.
It's funny. A lot of that you might recognize.
I was going to ask you, was there a reference for that?
Yeah, I take my own hands a lot. So sometimes even the pose, even the women's hands, I'll still pose with my hands, or I'll get my wife to do it or something. Just take shots, or take a look at the internet. I'm always looking at source material. I do spend a lot of time on hands getting them perfect because they're so, it's like a face. You can't screw them up. If there's anything wrong with them, they don't look right.
Speaking of hands, it's the cover of Distributary.
Yeah, there's a sequence, and you'll see when we get to the end the sequence of the covers. My father, Joe Matteo, who is on Instagram, and I don't usually do Instagram. I never remember. James, what's my father's Instagram account?
J De Matteo 30, I believe, on Instagram. Wait, let me look.
Sabina, if you're listening and could you put it in the chat?
Yeah, I think I follow your father too from the last time you promoted him.
He's a huge fan of James's the hands he draws. So it's funny you brought that up because that's something that my father always.
I almost had it right. J De Matteo 3015.
There it is. So every time he looks at James's stuff, he's also thank you, Bina, and thank you, James. He's looking at that too, and there's so much character in the hands that James draws. So after a night, after that fugue state night, there's my dad.
Yeah, I just followed him myself. So,
Dad, please show that.
Hold on. Let me get back over to the right. I have a video of Christian writing his first story at 5 drinking ground eating Philly. Can I show that? If you have a link, post it on YouTube and share it in the comments here. I would love to watch that.
Is there a statute of limitations for CPS? I don't know. Can they take me from him now? He might get in trouble. But
I've seen Christian plenty of times with chili all over his face. So
I thought you were going to say whiskey and be cool, but no, you're right. This is what happened that night when I didn't know what else to do, and this script came to me. This is part 2, and it opened up the whole world. And these stoners were the entry point, and James is some of my favorite frames are in the page of these stoners.
They have names. I always name the guys even though they don't show up in the script. So the blonde is Trey, and the brunette is Pinkert.
Trey was actually in the script because of the.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Trey wasn't.
I never bothered to name the other guy. Yeah, a lot of the characters that were unimportant to me, James has made important.
And early on, the process didn't survive. Although maybe Trey's hair a little bit. I said, "Oh, let's make him like Beavis and Butthead in front of the Quickie Mart."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you can see it in Pinkert anymore, but Trey still got the Beavis hair.
Yeah. This is gorgeous.
And
I got to be honest. Now that we were talking about hands, all I'm noticing on every page are your hands, and I'm like, this is beautiful.
So here's part of the process, David. Can you go up a little bit, Mike, on that page? Right in the middle there, you see the pyramid? Poor James got this page
right here.
Meanwhile, I have an idea, and I just send him, because remember, I'm the writer. If I want something, I just put the words on paper, right? And there it is. Hey, James, do me a favor. Can you throw an Aztec pyramid on page 2? I think I could feel. I didn't even know the hate vibes that were coming at me. He's like, when you say Aztec pyramid and it exists in your mind, but I got to draw it. and it's because he did this beautiful, beautiful work here. He's like, you got to give me a little bit of heads up about it, because he doesn't. I don't want to curse again. Half butt anything. I don't know. Is that better?
Yeah. It's okay. Let me just interrupt 1 second. Joe Ryan's asking how does he share the images? If you have a link to something like a website or something along those lines, a portfolio, just drop that in the comments so they can see.
Please
All
do.
Right. I don't know if they're on Facebook. I know he's on Facebook. I don't know if he could share. So Instagram, Twitter, whatever you got. If you have images up, just drop it in the links. All right. So yeah, no, I was going to ask actually about the pyramid. I love the vortex going around it. You guys like just your imaginations. That's what I want to say. The imagination in Christian and the imagination and skill that James has to bring your imagination to life. This is why I say it's a perfect team. I look at this and I'm just constantly impressed. Now, James, you were going to talk about some of your process and how you create. And David says really good composition. I completely agree. So let's talk about how you go about doing stuff. You said there was a specific character you wanted to discuss.
Yeah. So we haven't quite arrived at him yet, but we will.
Okay.
Soon enough. So this image, you can see the bubbles in there. So in the previous image, the burnouts are dropping. Do we call the drug riverboat? Is that the name of it?
River. The machine.
The drugs river. The machine's riverboat. So they're dropping the river, and this is the result of their trip. So the bubbles and stuff are actual kind of portals through time. So that's what you're seeing there. So we won't go further into the pyramid, but that's some definite foreshadowing that you'll see that eventually. Not in this issue, but that'll come forward. So that's of course Pinkert on the floor and Trey having the Jimi Hendrix experience.
Yeah.
Hello, Mike. I didn't see you come in. I'm sorry, Mike Wilkie. Hello.
Oh, Mike, I'm sorry I missed you too. Mike Wilkie, great guy. He's a single panel gag cartoonist. Does some really funny,
Cool.
like dad jokes type of stuff. I love it. Joe Ryan has made some posts, and Evan. I'm always moving on the wrong screen here. Evan says, "Concur. These two are phenomenal." Sounds like the title of another book for you guys. It's
So
almost like James does drugs.
Who said that?
That was David.
How dare he? How dare he make that insinuation?
Hey, don't downplay imagination.
So Joe Ryan, I knocked down your Instagram profile to take your stuff.
I just popped on it as well. Thank you, Jeff. So in River One, there's a dude they're looking for. They're talking about named Ruiz, and the thing is that they're like, we don't understand how any of this happened. Last week, Ruiz was a corner boy, just selling drugs on the corner, just a runner, and now he's got an empire. What happened? Well, Ruiz comes back into play here, and you're about to get to my T-shirt, actually.
Wow.
This is where we get into the rated R stuff, if there's any 12-year-olds out there.
This is gorgeous.
Tune off, or get closer to your computer, one of the two.
If you look at that inset panel in frame one, my T-shirt is the rough of that.
And it's flipped. Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
Wait, is it flipped on his shirt or is it
no?
the camera?
It actually, that's a funny story. It turned out so. This, we're talking about spatial differences and stuff in there. When she was one of the first ones I did as sort of a preview. I was playing around with Clip Paint Studio, which I had first gotten it. So this was a Clip Paint Studio piece of artwork I did in there. So I had the blood in the wrong place because Morris is getting eviscerated there, and the blood was on the wrong side of her face. So I switched it over with a bit of work to get it more accurate to where it would splatter onto her face.
That's great.
And by the way, if you want to talk about how awesome, Michael, you know this, how awesome being an artist, a creator is, we had a 20-minute part of our meeting, which was deciding how far back Volta, the blonde woman, should be based on how much blood is going to get on her. I mean, this is this is what we do. This is what I want to do full time, all the time, is have conversations like, how much blood would be on?
Before you scroll, Michael, let me bring your attention to Ruiz. So there we see Ruiz. And I'll show in a minute for Dave and the audience the first picture I drew of Ruiz. It was really just a silhouette. Remember that, Christian? I just drew a black silhouette with a circle around him for coming out of the machine. So that was the first picture I drew. And I'm going to share a whole bunch of pictures of what I think is the most comical part of this series that we haven't gotten to yet. But I'll show you the original picture of that.
It's just a heads up. This is going to get hardcore.
I'm finding it funny that he's so fat that his chest is popping out. It's such a great design.
We have never discussed this anywhere before. I was working on the script, and as I'm writing what he looks like, I'm trying to come up with some kind of interesting future wear, which isn't the crap that you've seen everywhere for 100 years. And I don't know why. I just got into my mind, what if in the future they have suits that showcase the nipples? So men's suits that have these rectangles cut out, and that's the design, the fashion of the future. So we both thought it was hysterical, and James went for it. But then...
And I had a great conversation with Christian's wife about how boobs would actually come out of a slot that small. So it actually got somewhat heated. And she's trying to explain, no, boobs aren't going to do that. They're not that floppy. And then I went back to, well, these are man boobs, and he's like 50 years old. So he's got salami boobs. So, and then I then tried to convince Christian to have Heather show it to me with a piece of cardboard. So that didn't happen. But
what did happen? You asked.
Oh yeah, well you sent me yours. That wasn't exactly what I was looking for.
It's never been the same since. Oh, you want a picture, do you?
I'm sorry, my cheeks are hurting right now. I'm laughing so hard.
I cut out a flap of an Amazon box. I cut a rectangular hole in it.
Yeah, I was like, I said something like, "Oh, that needs photographic evidence. Have Heather model that for me," and then I got his hairy boobs.
Yeah, that's right. Damn right, man. How dare you?
Because before you got into all that, my question was going to be who came up with the design, and now I know it's Christian. But
and by the way, who took the pictures? Heather took the picture.
Oh God! Hopefully Heather's not on here. I'm like outing her.
Well, We got a hold on. Let me get
She took a picture of me.
So we got some comments. First of all, Evan, love the inside panel. Need that shirt.
Redbubble.
Oh yeah, we got so Christians is a one-off, but that artwork there is right up there on Redbubble.
Yep. David, this is amazing. Heather is the ultimate authority on all things.
That's my sister. She knows.
And Moo.
She's great. She was convinced that she's like, boobs, they're not going to look like that when they're stuck through a mail slot.
Heather is the unofficial Fugitive Poems editor. Consistency. What do they call it on a movie?
Continuity.
Continuity expert.
Okay.
This happened when she looked at the first river and discovered that we had completely not stuck to who had gloves on when. Since then, Shelter in Flames, which is in Containment Breach, which is on Comixology, she went through and she checked outfits. She checked for continuity on everything.
So it was glove fingers versus non-glove fingers. I had so many mistakes. It was pathetic. And Christian and I, being how we are, we didn't even notice it. And she's like, yeah. And then she went through painstakingly and pointed all those out. I actually have a file on my computer called the glove files where I went in and I changed all that up.
So, well, I'll tell you something really cool, though, is that Heather, like James, Heather was cooler than me growing up. I really got her into comics. But Heather immediately, she'll pick one up and decide immediately if it's for her or not. If she can't immediately follow where she's supposed to be looking when, she bails on it. And that has been invaluable, having that kind of a reader, because she's come to love comics. She really has. So I always have an Image comic lying around the house. If I'm reading it, she's reading it, whatever. But if she picks it up and she can't follow it, she's like, nope, don't have time for that. So she helps us. Does this make sense? And her having someone who's not just a comic addict, but likes and appreciates them, look them over, has been hugely helpful. I'm so grateful to her for everything she does, including taking pictures of me to scar James with.
But of course, now you can see that we started to introduce some colors here.
Yeah. So
James getting mad.
Every time
Christian doesn't make me do anything.
Okay.
He's got to ask me really nicely.
Here's a question though. Do you sometimes make James redraw things for fun?
James gets cranky.
So sometimes I think I get crankiest when so Christian likes to write like a movie director. Mm-hmm. So I think we said this a bit on the last show, so we won't dwell on it again. But he'll say the character does this, and then he does this, and then he goes over here, and he looks out the window, and he throws this thing out the window. So that's like 6 panels, and he'll put that panel 1, and then panel 2. Then the guy on the ground gets hit by the thing coming out the window. He looks up and he shoots him with a gun, and all that is like he really thinks like we're directing a movie. So sometimes I do get cranky at him where I'm like, dude, I can't put all that into a single image, and that's been part of our.
I'll tell you something
too. It's like what we're putting in the panels and so forth. So even distributary is sort of a overkill as far as what we have. So we have been learning from that. I think the new Delphine is you're gonna see a whole different style out of us, and I've actually been moving away from the digital stuff. We're going to be doing watercolor and traditional work.
Oh, that's awesome!
If you look at Shelter in Flames in Containment Breach, you'll see another variation of James's style. All kidding aside about this, I've working with other people. My primary thing is novelist. Is always novelist. And I like that. I don't have a glass house, Sabina. I create something. I work alone, right? Doing comics is a partnership because someone's got to make it happen. James and I work really well together. We both get cranky because we're both cranky people. But James is a great artist, and if I tell him, I'm like, I'm not sure about this frame, he's already way ahead of me. And he wants to know how things look to other people. So we had an issue with a face in one of the comics that he had been so focused, and we're back to this topic on hands. He had been so focused on the hand in the frame that he had forgotten to go back to the face. And the minute it came up and pointed it out, there was no crap about it. He was like, "Oh Lord, yeah," and he knocked it out of the park. It was just something he hadn't gone back to. The biggest things, the coolest things, is how stuff looks. And actually, the page you're getting to right now, I know what I want, what I have in my head.
Yeah.
And James respects that, and I love it. And I know that James knows what looks good, and I respect that. This is one of the bloodiest pages we've ever done. And what is right below frame right now is the most shocking thing that we've ever done. And it is a result of a brainstorming session. I don't, at this point, even know who came up with the final idea. I don't think it was a final idea. It just evolved in a conversation. That frame of poor Tanaka's head getting quartered. I mean, quartered. I've never seen it before. I had it blowing up like a beach ball, and he drew it and showed me that it just wasn't gonna work. And we sat there and brainstormed until we came to this. And if you go, you don't have to go right now, to the next page, there is a lemon wedge quarter of her head on the floor.
Oh my God.
That is worth everything that we went through coming up with this.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
David was asking, is he creative director? The beauty of this partnership is that we're both always seeking out the very best thing, and all conversations are open, and that's been awesome. I mean, it's the most fulfilling artistic venture I've ever been part of, beyond.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, James.
I think it really works to sort of we're mutual partners, and I think Christian basically defers to me for visual stuff, and I defer to him to writing stuff. But then, we'll also push each other. We have a great relationship, which I think is one of the coolest things here. Is I got a guy who I consider a brother that I can work with every day, and we've yet to have even a tiff ever. We're like the perfect married couple. We've been together for 5 years, and I can't even remember any time we really had a heated argument about anything. It all turns into laughs, and it's really great. So neither one of us is really the creative director, and we always push. And at most we'll get Christian is very he doesn't like change a lot. So I'll introduce something to him. I'll introduce it, and I've learned to we usually talk text, so I'll introduce the concept and be like, no, we can't do that, and then he'll argue himself out of it. Like with 5 texts later, he's argued himself out of it. So I've learned to just be quiet for about anywhere from an hour to 24 hours, and he just like by the end I don't even have to say anything. So I just kind of figure out how he is, and then he kind of reads me when he can kind of tell when my ears start steaming, and we just kind of drop things a bit. And then I'll do the same thing. I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's never going to work. It can't go through a mail slot like that. That kind of thing. Or boobs, excuse me, or mammary glands, or whatever it is we call it for all our 12-year-old viewers.
James, I have a question about this particular panel here where she's getting quartered. Do you really enjoy drawing the cross sections of the inside of people's bodies? Because you did that in River, and you're doing it again here a bit.
Well, yeah. What my hope for River, and the reason why it took so long was for Distributary was I wanted to outdo River. So I think we've clearly outdone it here with the quartering and the bloodshed in general.
That page is, I can't believe that page. It's so cool. And there was a lot of time spent on that page. Just the top left image of poor Tanaka in the air.
Which page?
One more. Yep. Above that. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We spent a lot of time. There's actually a lot going on around that, where you can see the vault door that opened in part 1 was there, and then deciding what we were going to bring to the back, what we were going to bring to the front, what kind of framing was going to be there. And it is such a cool process, James. I have this amazing life where I get text messages like 6 or 7 times a day of great art. Hey, what do you think of this? Right now, we're working on another comic, and I get these text messages of drawings, and then we get to sit there and discuss them and talk about them.
Yeah.
One of the things that we wanted in this comic is that entropy is kicking in. And
Okay.
if you go from river to distributary, the framing is falling apart. And James, that was an idea that I had, and James understood it better than I did. And he's made that happen. And it's really starting to happen on this page with the fate of Kortanaka. It's incredible. But we spend a lot of time figuring it out. What's the look that we want? And then having people, specifically Heather, go through it and say, is this how I'm following it?
And this one's also up for free on Fugitive Poems, so you can see the whole thing. There's a lot to go through here. I do want. Let's see if we can jump ahead. I think it's page 8.
I'll
show a
get to-
particular pose. I wanted to show some of the process that I do that I have prepared.
Okay, I just want to get to a couple of questions real quick. Then we're going to go to page 8. All right, Christian, you were going to say something?
No, I was going to ask you what you were saying.
Oh, okay, sorry. So Charlie asks, could you give him the whole script and then discuss? You guys figure out which one could be merged and then be cut. I guess talking about some of the stuff from before. We got David who says, "Thanks for that honest." I think it's. Sorry, I have a thing in my. Yeah, I think
he typed it out again. I think he did it.
Oh.
Yeah. There
Okay. Yeah. Honest for creative teams. Hey, your sis Angela made it here.
Hello, Angela.
And then we got Evan, the layers and creativity and attention to detail never cease to amaze. I agree. And I'm sorry that I'm moving my, I keep moving. I have my webcam's on a swing arm, so it's kind of blocking some of the screen I'm looking at. So I keep going over here to read and see everything. But yeah, let's head over to that page 8 so we can take a look at the process. Where's my mouse? Hold on. Oh man, I hate when it does that. There it is. Okay, so we'll scroll down. Tell me when I get to the page because they're not numbered.
All right.
Oh, look at him.
It's the one after this one.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at this scene right here. This is fantastic.
Oh, this is Ruiz, and so this is. Well, I think James is going to say this. I'm not going to say anything, but there he is. We love him.
Yeah, he's so that's the pose I wanted to show here.
This one right here.
Speaking of like process, I went in preparation for your show, Michael, and I went through all the iterations of that ridiculous pose of Ruiz. So here we see Ruiz with his futuristic laser gun, right? And he's essentially being in the previous panel. One of the detectives shoots out one of the kind of repulsors on the bottom that sort of hold the gun up, help the
Halloran
with the gun, and so it causes it to misfire and it shoots right into the ground. It kind of propels him, as you can see, back through the door.
So much that his pants are coming off.
Yeah, and he loses his pants in the process because he's a I guess I can't say it on this show, but so he's
a heavy set guy.
Yeah, he's a heavy set man. So that pose there caused me so much strife that I have all these like different iterations of it, which I actually went and prepared for your show. I aligned them, and I want to show you the iterations that Ruiz went through. It's a pretty good sort of journey through the process that I can show, at least the digital process. I won't hold up all the pictures and stuff like that as well, but I did make a digital process that I can show you. That's that I can show you the digital.
Yeah, let me stop sharing, and is it on your screen or is it on the website or something?
Yeah, I'll have it on the screen.
Okay, so let me stop sharing. There, you will have a share screen button. When you finally say to share screen, I will see it pop up and I'll share the screen here.
Okay, yeah, just let me get it open.
Yeah.
It's a Photoshop file. I can play Photoshop, right?
Yeah. As long as.
All right. Just want to make sure I don't crash anything out.
Because when I open up do my share screen at the top, I don't know if it's the same for you. There's 3 different options. One says like screen, one says application, one says something else. So if you want to, I usually just share the application if I'm doing Photoshop.
Okay, yeah, like Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Give me a second.
This is great stuff. I love looking at your stuff here. Let's see, what do we got? Well, James is looking at. Color on his mic. Anything I missed in the comments here? Nothing yet. So I think that's James's. The sounds I'm hearing from James's.
James is broadcasting from an airplane hangar.
I'm feeling like he's on a UFO. That's like what it was sounding to me. I love it. I love it. And I love how dark the screen gets.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
he retreats into his cave.
This is my high powered. It's my jet powered desktop. All right, let's see. Share screen.
Okay.
Don't show these two.
David, I'm a lefty too, actually. We're both left-handed.
Sorry, I didn't see that comment come up. Both lefty.
There you go.
So the cop that shoots out the laser gun, the propulsor, is Colleran, and that's my brother-in-law. It was named in his honor. Just because in the first one I wanted the line, he says, it smells like pennies and diaper cream in here. And Detective Sutton says, you got a weird home life, Colleran. And then the comic ended up becoming a big story. So now he's got a big part.
So I got it up. I don't know if you can share it.
Yeah, I can see it. It's up on the screen now. I don't know if you see it. But...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is that pose that you might see there. So this is the earliest digital version. So you can see this is very simple. But the pose gave me such a hard time that I went through all these different versions of him, and I wanted to share them. So what I did was I pulled these out of Clip Studio and then eventually some of the Photoshop stuff and sort of overlaid them. And what's funny is I was able to align these perfectly to the text bubbles because I spend almost no time on text bubbles. So that didn't change at all, but I got all these different iterations of Ruiz. So this was the one, actually, this is even kind of previous. Process-wise, I do kind of this scratchy work to get the whole thing laid out, right? And the panels and so forth, and the positions, the characters, without even really worrying about anatomy or anything like that. Really, just other than the mass of the forms, right? How much space they're taking up.
Yeah.
So this is not the earliest version of Ruiz, but the earliest version of that pose, and then I started to overlay these, and like I said, I was able to put these on top and line them up to the text bubble. So this is the second iteration of Ruiz, obviously a lot more detail, but if you look closely, he's let's see if I can zoom in here. Very, very different looking Ruiz. So some of this stuff, like I said, I got countless drawings as well. I will hold up the one where I eventually got him right, but this he looked much younger here. We wanted him to be older because he's supposed to be ahead in time.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm also a 3D Studio Max geek, and I did, at this point, the reason why I have all this detail in here is I built his gun in 3D so I could basically use it for a reference.
Wow. Let me ask you, because you just said you're a 3D Studio Max geek. Last time we talked, you were just getting into 3D Max, I believe. Oh, no, not 3D Max. I was thinking Clip Studio Paint. No, I know you're a 3D Max geek. I know you've done it professionally. No, I know you're totally into that. How are you finding Clip Studio, though? Are you really enjoying
it? I loved it.
We get into things that there might be delays. I'm sorry. I'm looking in the comments. Did it all? I don't know if everybody.
There usually is a 10-second delay going to Facebook or I believe YouTube. I don't know what Twitch is, but there is maybe a few moments of delay. Anyway, I'm sorry. continue.
Yeah, let me talk. It might be because I'm running Photoshop, and that might be causing me to lag, and might lag out a little bit for some people, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So this is the early one, and then so this is iteration 3. I call this one the Fred Flintstone edition. So I definitely started putting the rolls and stuff on his face, but after I looked at it for a while, I was like, wow, that looks a bit like Fred Flintstone, and I didn't want him to be kind of that cartoony in here. So this was another iteration. So these are my drawings in still in Clip Studio there, but this is on top of other sketches and stuff that I'm doing for forums. Then I got to this guy. So this one's actually just a scan. So here you can see between these two, I really wanted to maximize like the push. The idea is this gun is sort of pushing up into his belly and propelling him backwards. So this one really took it to an extreme. And I think the big thing you can notice is I put his head down. So he's really not even reacting. He's just being pushed through the whole thing. So that's my pencil drawing, as you can see on that one.
Yeah.
Before we got to the more finished one, which is what ended up in the comic.
Wow, this is great.
And I'm getting these texts all day long as he's working on this. And getting to watch Fat Ruiz, who he swears is not based on me at all, involved. And the best part of all of this is that it's cracking James up. He's drawing this and he's dying. And he said, look what I did to him now. Look what I did to him now. He was not supposed to be. I didn't think of making him fat. That wasn't in the script. James decided it. And once he did it, this just beautiful grotesquerie evolved. And suddenly the idea of the nipple suit became even funnier, because what if you're not suave enough to wear it and your man boobs are actually coming out of it? And James has just been killing himself creating this character, and Ruiz has become one of our favorite characters.
It's great. I'm still looking at the images down here. Holy, I mean, it's so fun looking. I don't want to continue going because I want people to go to the site and read it. And I don't want to show everything.
And this is I said I wouldn't hold a lot of stuff, but this is the image that I finally found Ruiz after all my drawings and stuff.
Wow, I love that.
And then
that's really where I wanted this guy to be this horrible fiend, which he is in the story, but yet have that sort of comic look. So without him looking like a Flintstone or something, right? So
yeah.
This is the one where I finally got him right. So I was real happy with this one.
I love his lower eyelids in that picture. I
should make this into a mask, I think.
What James accomplished here is to make this character who gets his pants blown off in a frame. I mean, really, right? And he's wearing, if you look at his boots, they're ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
He has absolute menace. And that has just absolutely awed me. The man is menacing. He's a clown who is still terrifying, like legitimately dangerous. He's not creepy, silly. The guy is a buffoon who is an absolute danger to people around him. And to balance that in the visual, I can't think of somewhere I've seen that before. I'm amazed by it. It's so cool to have this character where you can laugh at him, but you know what he can do, what he's capable of, as Tanaka finds out. And there's a lot more coming. And you'll see the last page of Distributary. Can you go to the bottom of that page?
Yeah, let me share the screen again.
Sure.
And application window. There we go. Share. And let me just get down to the bottom here, get to the right monitor. There I am.
Yeah, let's go past the last page if you would. Okay, right there. A couple of people have asked about the t-shirts and whatnot. You can click on any of these links, and there's a shop button at the top of the page too. James's artwork, by the way, not just his Fugitive Poem stuff, His artwork is on Redbubble, and it's so cool. You could get Bloody Tanaka on a blanket for your bed to be comfortable with. But there's so many cool things that he's got out there. Any of these will take you to the Redbubble, and you can get. I mean, I'm in the process of collecting as much of his stuff as I can.
I have to say, I love this one. Just this canyon type of set. That's beautiful.
That's the cover of Shelter in Flames, which was our contribution to Containment Breach.
Okay.
Based on a prompt given to us by Matt Queen and Peter Paul Smith, who, by the way, they have a Kickstarter out called Tales of Zero. It's funded, but jump on it because it is. They went from doing Containment Breach to putting out their first graphic novel, and it is incredibly, incredibly cool. John Jack has When You're Hunted, You Run, which he's going to be. He's working on putting out. As a 4-issue series. These are the guys from our first anthology that are putting out all their own stuff now. It's really awesome to watch.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, if definitely check them out on Tales of Zero.
Tales of Zero. And is the Kickstarter over, or they're just funded and they still have more time?
It's funded, but they have more time, and the more you get into it, the more people can get the product.
Oh, obviously,
we've already read the graphic novel, and it's awesome.
That's great. Do me a favor, hook me up with their contact info after the show.
Absolutely.
Because I do a lot of promoting Kickstarters for indie people. I love having Kickstarter. I actually my next 3 guests are all Kickstarter people right now, I believe.
Really?
After you guys, yeah. So I'm very happy to promote anyone on Kickstarter, anyone on Indiegogo, everybody who if you're an indie artist, that's what my show's about. Just promoting people like us, whether you do R-rated stuff like you guys, or you're like me with family friendly. I don't care what you're doing. If you're creating and it's good, let's get it out there. Let's get people to know about it. So hook me up with their info.
I'm going to give you something really quick, somebody to keep an eye on before we jump into our big announcement.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the perfect trailer for our announcement.
Let me give you the whole screen there so you can show it.
Jordan Patrick Finn and Greg Warrenchak, the writers and artists behind these two. I'm trying to get in frame here. There we go.
Yep.
Death Kanji and Hellcraft. He does not have a Kickstarter up right now, but you're going to want to follow Jordan on Twitter. His writing is awesome. Greg's art is awesome. It's at Jordan P. Finn, Finn. And that's somebody to absolutely keep an eye on. There's a lot of great guys out there doing a lot of cool stuff. But I fell in love with Death Kanji. And the next time he's got a Kickstarter up, you're going to want to try and get on it and see if he's including one. Death Kanji is unbelievable. It's a Lovecraftian samurai story. And it is stunning. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, let me give you this. Hold on. Let me give you the screen again. I'd like to see that up close.
Sure.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so good. And it's an incredible story. Just really, really good stuff. There's a lot of people doing really great stuff out there, and it's so cool. And we're doing cool stuff that I'm excited about. Oh, look at this. Evan, perfect. Thank you. So can I share the screen?
Hold on. Let me. Do you need the screen up anymore? Or can I stop sharing?
No, you can stop that.
Okay. So whoever wants to share it, go for it, you guys.
All right. I am going to, for the sake of some fun drama and maybe ruining everything, I am going to make a page. Wait, why is there screen sharing tips? Just do it. There we go. Boom. Share. Am I sharing screen?
I will share it in 1 second. And stream. There it is. Whoa.
There we go. Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. So, Containment Breach was our first anthology. And we love doing it so much that we are going to do part 2. So the big announcement I am going to make live. This page has been hidden on the website. I am going very exciting. I'm going to flip a switch here. All right, we're going to hit save. and the whole website is going to go down. No, hopefully that's not true. Now there is a hub for contests. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to do this thing here. Boom. If you click on contests on the fugitivepoems.com website, you will now see this page with our big announcement. And it starts literally for the first time ever right now on Get in Tune with Michael Gracia.
I love it. Let me refresh my page.
Can you guys see it?
You said go to contact?
No, I mean, am I still sharing screen?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
you are.
Because I can't see it. All right, so Containment Breach Volume 2, Anthology Contest. Interested parties apply within.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite of James's drawings right here. That's from our comic finish that's coming. Event.
All right. So, yeah, I'm looking at it. So if you go to contest right here, I'm looking at it right now. You're now accepting creator application volume 2.
That's right.
You're gonna. I'm just reading it right now. Volume 2 will feature work of 10 to 15 comic teams. You must apply as any of the following: writer, artist, a one-person team, or multi-member team. Writer and artist. Team selected will submit as such, and individuals will be paired with other folk. And then you go down. You got your application submissions to apply. What you need to apply to.
No pitches. No long-winded letters. You're not pitching a story to us because you don't know what story you're drawing yet. We are doing this like we did the first one, improv style. So what's going to happen is once we've got our teams together, each team is going to give another team a creative prompt that has to do with the overall theme of Containment Breach. It's not going to be quarantine this time. It's going to be something else, and it's very cool. So to apply, you have to submit, if you're a writer, 1 to 3 samples of your work. It could be a comic you've made that we can read, or it could be a script, but make sure it's in professional comic script form. If you're an artist, send samples of your sequential artwork. Again, if you're a team, send the stuff that you've done. So if James and I were applying, which we're not because it's our day anthology, we would send one of our comics, right? So if you're a team, send your comic or 3 of your comics. If you're an individual,
I was thinking of dropping you, Christian, for this one. I was going to demote you down to the clerical staff.
I'm exhausted. I got to be honest. If I have to think of another way to slice a head open, I'm just going to. So, artists, send samples of your work. You're going to email me, Christian@FugitivePoems.com. You're going to introduce yourself and your team and include a PDF with everything. So literally right now, at this moment, April 6, 2021, applications are now open as of Get in Tune today. And awesome. We close on, applications will close on May 4th. Why, Michael? Why May 4th?
I'm going to say because it's Star Wars Day.
That's right, and we're wishing everybody luck. So May the 4th be with you.
Yep.
That's when applications close. And then May 11th, we will reach out to everyone. All winning applicants will be given the anthology's super secret theme, a story prompt from another team, and a month to make a badass 4 to 12 page, all original, short comic to be featured in Fugitive Poems' second anthology. So as Trey here is showing us, let's do this. Don't do drugs, kids.
Just say no.
Just say no.
So let's say I just also want to stress, if you guys aren't part of the team, we are looking for individuals too. So if you're an artist or a writer, we can hook you up with someone. We actually did that with the John Jack team on the last thing. We hooked those 2 guys up, so you don't necessarily have to be part of a group or be a writer. You can be an artist. We are really looking for sequential artists, and we want to see examples of sequential art. But beyond that, you don't necessarily have to have your own comics, finished comics out there. We're looking for guys that are, honestly, just a couple steps behind us, trying to break their way in. We want to see new talent. We're of course, we'd be very excited to have, big names and stuff in there as well. But we're just as easily we're definitely looking for up and comers as well. So send us your best stuff. Just make sure it's sequential art. We're not looking for concept art and stuff like that. You gotta show us some of your skills
and your stories. We want creativity
and stories. Yeah.
We want people. We're going to keep to the zine feel. I'll tell you another little secret right now. In maybe in a month, I'm going to be opening up. We're going to be opening up another little contest for flash fiction. Very, like 1 paragraph, 2 paragraph short stories. I want to have that in there. We're going to be looking for some pinup art, wholesome. Well, our version of wholesome. Nothing.
Which is not wholesome.
Yeah, just not pornographic. But we're going to be looking, like James had a bunch of cool 1-page pieces of art in the first one. We're going to have more of James's art, and we want to feature some other people. We want this to be not just a comic anthology, but a zine experience where you're never quite sure what you're going to get. Some articles I'm going to want. So we got some cool ideas, and I'm looking forward. Evan, I said I was just going to give a tease. I'm not going to say a lot about flash fiction. I want some great short fiction stories that are quick to drop in here.
Let me ask you, for the artists out there watching, and I will be sharing this on Facebook later this week, if not tomorrow, later this week, so people can go to your website. Is there a style you're specifically looking for the artist to draw in, or just whatever? It could be anything from cartoony to ultra realistic. It doesn't matter, as long as they can tell a story and it fits with your theme, you're good, right?
Yeah, I think we could say, well, it's funny, David's reading my mind. I haven't seen that dude in 2 years. And I was going to bring up Heavy Metal Magazine. There was so much different stuff in there, everything from like these amazing masters like Mobius and so forth, all the way down to, kind of stuff that I was like, wow, that's really bad art. I mean, how did I make that in there? So we're not that we're looking for bad art, but the style. I think we have been I've been particularly inspired by the image stuff that Christian's been sending me, and it's just such it's so exciting about this genre that it's become so inclusive, I guess, of all different types of styles. You don't just have to draw superheroes anymore. Everything is out there, every kind of art, and it's selling too. People are into that. So yeah, don't be worried about your style. Like I said, just show us your best work. But we're intentionally looking for differences.
If I can show you this is a great book. It's an anthology collection called Trickster, and Native American Tales, a graphic collection. And this guy, what's his name? I can't find his name here, but Matt Dembecki put this together because he had heard all these great Native American stories, and he said, what if we got Native Americans to tell them? So he teamed artists up of all kinds with these Native Americans who were storytellers, and the scripts were the people telling the comic artists the stories. Wow. And the art styles are completely different in each one. I mean, think about what I just showed you, and then look at that.
Yeah.
Right. So very cartoony. In the middle ground of that, and I think it's so cool. You never know what you're going to get in this book, and each story is unique. We want people to have that experience of different stuff. Going through the book, and each story is a different world, a different experience. Yeah. By the way, if you can get it on Amazon, probably your LCS has it. Maybe you can add them to order. Trickster is a really cool collection.
It looks gorgeous. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm going to write that name down before I forget.
I actually think, I could be wrong about this, but I think Matt Queen turned me onto it. But I have a terrible memory, and I love whiskey, so I could be wrong about that.
Hold on. Terrible speller here. Okay. I totally spelled Trickster wrong.
Charlie, most of what I write is from some bad person's point of view because I wrote it.
Let me just put up her comment so everyone can see. Whoops, that was Joe Ryan. He just made something. Actually, I have a 3-part anthology, Horrendous 2, an upcoming anthology, Not So Fair
Cool.
Tales. That's
Joe, are there links to that on your Instagram?
yeah, Joe, if you have any other links or whatever, just share them, or if it's on Instagram, let's everyone check out.
Yeah, that was the same dude from before. He sent.
Yeah. I didn't know if those anthologies are up there.
You know, it's actually funny. This comment came up. Ever think of coming from bad guys or villains' point of view, for example, how why they main drive the story? And I'm just going to share this because I was recently rewatching Batman the Animated Series on HBO Max. Fantastic story. But I think the reason why it works so well is because you're really seeing it almost from the villain's perspective. There's all these great the stories are really villain stories, and Batman's there to just help tell their story. I don't know if you could see it that way, like especially Heart of Ice, one of the most famous episodes where Mr. Freeze, he's there about his, and it's just like, I literally remember being, what, it was 92, so I'm 16, and tearing up at that episode.
Yeah,
because you're really looking at it from these villains. These villains became real, and you end up feeling for them more than you feel for Batman in those stories.
Well, Roger Ebert always said that heroes were boring.
Yeah.
And it's the sad fact of following a code of ethics is that you're predictable. Right? So for in real life, that makes you a good person.
Yeah.
In stories, the hero's going to do the right thing. The bad guy could do the right thing.
Yeah.
He might. He probably won't, but you don't know what he's going to do because he's not following a specific code of ethics. Unless, you're in the Snyderverse, and then the good guys might kill thousands of people.
Yeah, we'll have to chat about that later on. But I do have one other question, and then we're going to get to the comments. Just because James brought up all the image stuff you're sharing with them, have you guys had a chance to check out on Amazon Prime the Invincible cartoon?
Not yet. It's on my list. I haven't yet.
There's like 3 or 4 episodes up. Watch it. If you read the comic, it's just like the comic. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, and I highly recommend it.
I've heard shocking things about it. I got to get to it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any advice on sparking your creativity when you have no emotions or feelings? Asking for a friend.
So, brother-in-law of mine who inspired the character collar, and don't worry, we'll do it for you. We put you in a comic. You can be inspired there. He's not as sociopathic as he lets on. Just a little sociopathic.
And
if I could share one more thing, I'm there.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to share screen again, if you'll allow me. We would very much like what we're putting together. We want fellow fugitives, and we're asking people to subscribe to Fugitive Poems. If you would do us a favor and go to our website and get your friends and family members to just sign in, and I'll be sending updates. You get information before anybody else gets it. If you're going to apply for the contest, please subscribe. We're trying to we want a crew together that when we're doing cool stuff, we can send out all the information to them first. So if I could ask you to get a chance, go to fugitivepoems.com, sign on, and come join our contest. Read our comics that we've put up for free. Check out Containment Breach, and then here it is. I don't know if you've got anything else that you want to show, James, but this is what's next up at Fugitive Poems. This is from the comic Delphine, and it is one of the most terrifying rats that I have ever seen, and I've seen them in real life, and this is scarier. James is amazing. I got a little bit of the script in here, so this is what's coming next. So, James, did you have, I don't know if you popped up something about that.
Yeah, I have some, I just got a couple of pictures and then stuff I can hang up in front of the screen.
All right, let me give you the screen.
So, like I said, I'm doing a full 180 here. So if you're into the River idea, you'll have to wait for River 3 to see more of that. This is going to be a total 180. I pulled out some watercolors. Going to be doing a lot of inking, and so there's a little bit of a mix of inking and stuff towards the end. The full color panel of Distributary, if you haven't seen it yet, you can see that's traditional ink, and then digitally colored. But Delphine's going to be old school. She's
great.
All right, so I gotta share this screen again. Sorry. I feel like I'm in Zoom class here. Share.
Charlie, there's going to be a lot more Ruiz. You're going to find out a lot more about Ruiz in the coming episodes of River, which will be the graphic novel. So sign on. If you sign on, you'll be the first to know when the graphic novel of River is coming. The Ruiz is going nowhere. There's many iterations of Ruiz.
He's a gorgeous design. Gorgeous design. You know.
Right.
Oh, you got the share. Let me share your screen here. Hold on. Add to stream. Okay. Nice.
So this is our new protagonist. This is Delphine. So this is traditional ink and watercolors.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our main character for Delphine, or at least one of the main characters. The other one, as you may have guessed, is the rat.
Yeah. Wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is gorgeous. I mean, I've always been a fan of James's work, so it's one of those things where it's like I'm impressed every time, but at the same time, I don't expect anything less from him. You know, it's like anytime he puts something up, I'm just wow.
I mean, I don't want to blow his cover at all here, but he draws the things, right? But then I get my pencils on it to make it look really good. And if you've seen my art, you know how true that is. This is a comic I drew once.
Actually, I remember on the first show that you guys were on with me, we did look at some of your artwork on how you share scripts. Hold on. James, are you done with the screen or?
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else. I think everything else was involved with Distributary. Let me just check.
Background.
All right. I probably won't take the screen over again, but I just wanted to show this.
Oh.
So this is Distributary out in its glory on my table. I think I took this picture for Christian. So
I get the greatest text messages.
It's kind of cool, even though it's digital, to kind of see it laid out on my drawing table.
Yeah. Wow.
Really like that one.
James, I don't think I've ever told you this. Every time I look at this picture, I imagine this is the moment in the movie when they finally reveal what's in the briefcase. That's the shot to me. Like, this is what Tarantino had going around in Pulp Fiction. This is what was inside.
It's just, yeah. Wow.
So
that last page I had written in the script, I want this to be like a movie poster. I want this to be characters stepping into a new world, and it's so vivid that even though you're only seeing their reaction, you almost feel like you're seeing what they're saying. And I knew what I wanted where, and I wrote it in the script. But then James does this, and on one level, he's hit all the notes that I wanted in the script. On the other level, this is something infinitely more than I could ever have imagined. I love that page. I want that on a shirt. I want that on my wall. And this guy makes the nipple suit look good.
And since you guys were nerding out on Star Wars before, you might see a slight resemblance to the poses here.
Yep.
Yes.
From
the
Star Wars poster.
Yes.
James,
Totally.
We geek out. We don't nerd out. Thank you very much. Cool kids.
Yeah, they don't get us.
No.
So that's all I had, Michael.
All right.
I mean,
Let me.
I do have some stuff I can hold up to the screen, but
I'd love to give you the screen and see that work.
By the way, as far as River goes, I'll censor this for the show. But the log line for the full length of River is as follows: facing wormholes, black holes, and one multiplying a-hole. 5 Lancaster cops joust through space and time on a mission only one of them even kind of understands. The very fabric of existence is at stake. Heads will roll and bells will toll. So that's the whole thing of River. That's the log line for River.
Wow, that's nice.
Wormholes, black holes, and one multiplying a-hole, and that's Ruiz.
That's fantastic. That's another rat. Love it.
yeah, that's the dirty rat.
Yeah.
I think we revealed that much, right? That's actually in the script that you shared, Christian.
What? Oh, yes, that exactly that scene.
All right, yeah. So yeah, you can read up right on the website what the deal with this rat. He is actually a character in the film, and I have. So like I said, I pulled out my watercolors, which I haven't used in a long time, and I really wish I had gone back to them earlier because they're so much fun and really easy to do a lot of coloring and so forth. Yeah. So I've been painting all my recent illustrations in African American skin tones just to practice. So I did a bunch of these on that, and then I guess she's PG-13 here. So she got a couple of outfits that she's wearing. This is her bedwear. Going to bed. Nice. So that's all stuff that I've been practicing, and here's a setting shot in ink.
Gorgeous.
Of the actual setting, the sort of foreboding apartment building.
That's the closest we've come to a real argument. Was about how many floors the building was going to be. It was a very funny text message argument. It was the end of the day. We were both a little cranky. I had an idea in mind. He wanted a visual. This is the problem with working with a writer. He's like, well, can you give me a visual of what that would be like? And I'm like, I don't know. I just wrote the words I wanted. I want that. He's like, right, but what does that look like in reality? I'm like, dude, I don't do reality.
That's fantastic.
Ooh, signed Tanaka t-shirt. I like that idea. We gotta hire this guy.
Evan, absolutely.
Evan's got to help us out with our ideas. Yeah,
Evan should be our social media manager. I would love that.
I think that's a great idea. So yeah,
we can get Evan and Sabina involved.
You got. Speaking of Sabina,
when we are all vaccinated, I want to meet my other brother James in person and give him a huge hug.
Yeah, Sabina's great. So she made my Christmas 2 years ago. Gave me the big brownie points with the De Matteo family. She organized the whole Christmas gift where I drew Christian's kids as superhero characters.
It's so cool. It's in the playroom.
That's kind of how I met Sabina. It was great.
That's fantastic.
And I drew the Hulk, the first infant Wonder Woman, and Spider-Man.
Nice.
And, Ariel as Wonder Woman is one of the coolest things ever. The diaper bottom is absolutely brilliant. And Martine, by the way, you might be getting a call from us because we're thinking about having a little photography in Containment Breach 2. Like I said, we want this to be an awesome full zine experience. And Michael, I can't thank you enough for letting us announce this on your show.
I'm thrilled that you were able to do it. I got to break some awesome news, and it's something I'm going to be sharing out so that other artists that I'm connected with and writers, and I still do a lot of work with people who are looking to break in, whether they're young adults or whatever, kids, doesn't matter. I'm always working with someone, or I know somebody who could use some exposure of some sort. So it's a fantastic fantastic announcement. You know, I know you said it was a contest announcement. I didn't know what was coming. Uh, David asked if he could be the editor.
Not if you knock out people's teeth when you're displeased.
That was a funny night. I think that was I think that was after we yanked the wires out of someone's car alarm was going off in front of his house. So we forced down his window, popped his hood, and ripped the wires out of his. And then somehow after that, we thought it would be a good idea to have a bare knuckle fist fight out in the street. And that time David got the better of me. I remember him giggling too. I was like, dude, you knocked my tooth out. And he was just giggling.
Oh, man. The life. The
streets of Park Slope. Badass streets of Park Slope.
We were never the same again after that.
Wow. You know, I'm going to wrap up soon, even though I'm thoroughly enjoying this, and I'm sure we can find some other stuff to talk about. But I'm gonna wrap up. Is there anything else you guys would like to share before we get going?
I think I've shared. Not enough. I think let me say this. I'm not going to say anything about this specifically. Subscribe. There's something I'm dying to talk about, and we're not ready to unveil it yet. I am dying. I'm much smaller than James. It was a lucky shot. Well,
my wife's been telling you stories, hasn't she?
We have an idea, actually inspired by Joseph DeMatteo. There's something coming to Fugitive Poems that I haven't seen anywhere else. And subscribe. And I'll be in touch with you when that comes, and let you know, Michael, about it as well.
I'm happy to have you guys back and talk about that.
Because this is where we want to be. I'll tell you one thing. We're both college professors, Michael.
Yes.
We love teaching as well as art. I have a company, Tellworthy Creative Writing Services, where I help writers write their stories. I writing coach, I edit. I just had this awesome author in Chicago send me this really cool short story, and we worked on it together. This is my passion. And James is this way with art. I mean, I'm learning about art. It's not James's fault that I'm not getting any better. And I'm not getting any better. But I'm learning so much about art from James. We want to help other people get into this industry. And one of the things that we're going to be doing, this I will say, is I'm going to be folding some of my Tellworthy, it's tellworthy.com, some of my Tellworthy creative writing services into Fugitive Poems.
Awesome.
And where I'll be working with comic writers. I've worked with a couple already, helping them with scripts and pitches and whatnot. There's something there's going to be more of that at Fugitive Poems. But there's something really cool coming. We got a lot on their plate right now, and I don't want to rush it.
We've wanted to expand out beyond. So Christian and I are the creative team. We want to make Fugitive Poems the springboard for others as well to sort of follow along with us and raise everyone's boats together. We've been trying to come up with a theme of fellow fugitives. The team, joining our team, and some of the people that we get for submissions. Maybe you won't get right into our first anthology, but we got stuff in development for tutorials and mentoring people that are maybe a few steps behind us creatively, both writing and art-wise. So there's a lot of exciting stuff that we have on our own plates, and we've been lately trying to be more business-like and think about Fugitive Poems as bigger than just Christian and I. And the ideas is becoming bigger. More. Reaching out to more people and making it something bigger than just us, and just having us as a creative team almost as our our lead clients, definitely, but almost like we're, working for ourselves and having other stuff, brewing all the time, and, getting more and more people involved in in Fugitive Poems and what we're doing.
Hey, Sabina just pointed something out to me via text message.
Hey, Rob.
When James said guys, we generally using that. There are unbelievable. There are women out there doing unbelievable comic work. We want to work with anybody and everybody, and that's this. I've seen such cool stuff out there. Submit, apply for the anthology. We just want cool work from everybody. So please, and thank you, Rob. I have the photo. I'll just show it myself. I don't have any pride.
You have it in you with you
I
right now?
immediately threw that out.
Oh, don't worry, I have it.
Oh God,
Is it on your phone?
Everyone avert your eyes.
I don't know if I'll be able to find it right away.
You know what? You could always.
It's only my screen background. No,
you can always text it to me, and I could airdrop it to my computer and share my screen.
Well, I'm not going to show that, but these are the. Hold on, can I do it? I got to turn down the brightness.
Let me give you the screen.
Look at this. This is the kind of stuff I get in my text messages.
A little hard to see, but yes, I can tell what you're.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. I get such cool stuff from James, having it all, and then we're talking comics.
Don't worry, that I don't think anyone saw that. That wasn't pornographic though. So.
No, that was the rat. That was the rat. So yeah, we've got a lot of cool stuff coming, and we want to work with cool folks. David, great word. Yeah. So please get over to our site, subscribe to Fugitive Poems, check out the awesome stuff that James has got up on Redbubble, and send us your applications. You've got till May 4th, because we're doing Containment Breach Volume 2, and it's going to be really cool.
That's great. You guys, I'm going to ask you to hang out backstage for a moment, but thanks again for coming on. It was another show I had a lot of fun on. I knew we weren't going to be able to keep this to an hour like we chatted about, but
we tried. We had the
we tried, but you know what? I can't do it with you guys. You guys are fun. You have so much going on, so much great art to look at, stories. So, number one, like I said before, thanks for being creators. Thanks for creating stuff. But what you're talking about with the future of Fugitive Poems just sounds amazing, and to help bring people into the industry is even better. There's so many great creators, both men, women, whatever. I'm friends with so many people out there, and the work I see, I'm super impressed by constantly, and the stuff you guys are doing, I love seeing. I'm looking at the website. I'll be subscribing so I can see and hear some of your updates. But seriously, you guys, welcome back anytime. Let me know when you wanna make an announcement again, or when you want to have something else coming out. You're always welcome back. You guys, I love chatting with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was a great time as always.
Yes. I'm gonna embarrass Dave a little bit. I'm gonna celebrity drop. Dave Lillis is the proud parent of Sophia Lillis, the lead actor in It, the new It.
Really?
Yeah,
what?
that's his very talented daughter. I'm not sure what her current project is, but
congratulations.
Yeah, very cool, huh?
She was like one of the best parts of that movie.
I will say,
great actress.
I haven't seen it.
Or actor, excuse me.
Yeah. I don't watch that type of stuff, but my wife saw it, so I'll let her. I'll tell her, and she'll tell me.
She's like the heart of the. All the kids are great. It's actually a really well cast movie. All the young people are great, but she's really the heart of that movie. She emotes with her face so powerfully that the most absurd horror aspects of the concept I hold her responsible for making them believable. That her reactions are so palpable. Holy cow! I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's congratulations on that, David, for
Wow.
or to your daughter actually for having
Congratulations for your sperms.
Yeah, exactly that. You got some talent behind you there.
Well, Dave's a real talented guy in his own right as well.
That's awesome. Oh, if David does any type of artwork, I'd love to see it. So,
My Dave Chewy is saying she was in Sharp Objects, which I haven't gotten to yet. That
I don't
is
know that one.
just move that up on my list. That's HBO, I think. Sharp Objects, if I remember correctly.
Wow. Wow. Very nice. All right, guys. Let's get you guys get everyone at home getting ready for sleep, I guess, or whatever they do.
Everyone who's bailed on us.
Yeah.
Still talking. Good Lord.
So
There better be snacks and whiskey in the green room.
we'll be chatting in 1 second, you guys. Thanks again for coming on. Seriously, welcome back anytime. I'm just going to do my my wrap up, and I'll be right with you guys.
Yeah, Dave. Let me just shout out to Dave. I haven't seen him in a while. Reach out to me on Instagram or something, dude. We got to see each other again. Last time I saw him, I think we were in the woods drinking whiskey, and I made him pass out in his tent. So
Uncle.
This is everything David didn't want out in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, thank you so much. Hey, everyone who tuned in and chatted with us, and once
thanks, guys.
You guys, this is what being able to put something out in the world and get a response is probably the coolest thing that can happen to a person. So thank you so much, and
come join the team. Become a fellow fugitive. Join the fun. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Michael, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you guys in a moment. All right, you guys, thanks for everyone for tuning in. Seriously, always a fun time. I got to start talking to them outside of just my show here because I love chatting with these two. I want to just let you guys remind you, go to fugitivepoems.com, subscribe. If you're an artist or a writer or any sort of creative, go to that, click on the contest page and, check everything out. So next week, I'm sorry, I'm going to pronounce my guest's name incorrect, so I'm not going to do it right now. Look for the ads. He's got a Kickstarter for a really interesting comic coming out. It's already half funded. It's been out about a week or so, so it's definitely something to check out. Look for the ads. You're gonna. I think you guys will be really into it. It's not a superhero story. It does veer off. I think there's some superhero elements, but you'll find out more. I'm still on hiatus from my storytelling Saturdays, just because of work and my arm's still bugging me. So I'm gonna be taking a break from like that type of stuff for a little bit. So thanks again for tuning in. Check out fugitivepoems.com. If you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube at Michael Gracia, on Facebook at getintoon.net, and on Twitch at ToonMaker76. I appreciate all the viewers. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday at 8:30. Have a great night, guys.